So we came to Warren and we spent a day, and we did go through the plant, and we shook a lot of hands and met a lot of people and asked a lot of questions, and we liked the people. We thought the cultural fit with our own company and our own way of doing things was great. We like the high carbon and alloy business. We're in that business in Dearborn, and the thought process now is we'll just put all of that business here because you're far better facilitized and do a much better job than we do in Dearborn. We like the location between Dearborn and Sparrows, and the equipment here is reasonably good. Money has been spent over the past years in order to bring equipment up into a good position. This slide just shows what the configuration looks like as you become part of the family. So as you can see, we'll have a number of blast furnaces and a number of AOF shops and a number of hot mills and cold mills and coating lines. And the beauty of this is nothing ever runs perfectly all the time. And when that happens, oftentimes you need help and you need expertise as to what needs to be done. And now we're going to have a lot of operations and a lot of people that can work together in order to, come up with best practices, best solutions, et cetera, et cetera. Thought I'd give you a view as to what the 2010, 2011, sales potential could be across the company. So as you can see, Warren certainly could be 1.3 million tons, and really with the blast furnace capacity, if we add some pig capability, it could probably be another 200,000 or 300,000 tons of pig. You can see Sparrows Point at 3.7 million tons, but with that furnace really, doing its best, we probably could get to 4 million. Dearborn probably around 4 million, and Columbus will be at 3 million. So this will move us up to somewhere in that number 3 or number 4 position for flat roll in North America. Plan for the company, safety first. And I'll show you another slide on safety, but the safety of the people and the safety of the equipment is just the number 1 priority we have in our company, and it's something that we won't compromise on. We want to minimize the transition issues, and there'll probably be a number of questions in the Q&A. Clearly, there are transition occurring, and we won't get everything right. It won't be because we haven't tried hard. We just want to tell you our goal is to minimize the transition issues, and we'll create a dial-in if we need to in case there are transition issues to get things solved. Assure cost-effective coke supply so that we don't have to rely on high-priced coke from middle or from China or from other parts of the world. Critical spares and maintenance, probably if the place is like Dearborn, before you get into trouble, you don't have the spares you need, you haven't done the maintenance that you need to do. Develop the right capital plan and challenge ourselves to be even less commodity-oriented than the business already is. So what changes, what doesn't? Again, we want a seamless transition. We've heard the voice of the people that there's too much overtime. We are going to add people and talent where it's needed. But I think we all have to remember at the end of the day, no matter what happens, it's our joint responsibility to make this place as cost competitive as it can possibly be. Warren's going to operate just as we are operating Sparrows and as we are operating Dearborn as a semi-autonomous business unit. We want you to be entrepreneurial. Mike is going to lead the group here. Some of the functions will be centralized. Some of the functions will be closely coordinated in a matrix manner. Some of the functions will be almost completely exclusive to Warren. If you look at the chart is going to be similar to what you may have seen in the past for ISG. And then if you look at the local chart, functions that have been in Warren are going to continue to be in Warren. Now, we will do some different things. For example, we will have one treasury, so we don't have to have treasury at every single location. We'll have one treasury, and that'll be part of corporate. We don't need to have lawyers in every location. We'll have one law department, and that will be in one location. But there will be purchasing people here, there will be sales people here, there will be labor relations people here, environmental people here, et cetera, et cetera. So that's our concept of a semi-autonomous business unit. The culture of Severstal. Safety first. respect for all people. Your ideas matter, but it is okay to challenge. In other words, just because I have more stripes than maybe you might have doesn't mean you don't have the right to challenge something I say or an idea that I might have, but there's a respectful way to do it. It's okay to ask questions. In fact, it's encouraged to ask questions, take responsibility, continuously drive costs. We can't ever stand still. Benchmark the best, and we create our own futures. And we'll tell you a little bit about what we're thinking in each of these areas. So this is safety at Dearborn. And safety at Dearborn is we're now down to, under, really about 2.5 right now on a recordable rate. And Sparrows is coming right down along the same path, and you're in the same kind of area, same kind of idea. You're doing Fred Ryan training, we've done Fred Ryan training, and it's, I think, the joint responsibility of, union leadership as well as management to say at the end of the day, nobody ever goes home injured. That's the target. There's just no reason why we want to encourage anything less than that. From a cost standpoint, I think it's really, really, really clear. The global competition means cost is king. We cannot take our eyes off of cost. Because if you think about it, the Koreans and the Indians and the Chinese are building massive economies with a lot of steel-making capacity. And someday the dollar isn't going to be where it's going to be. And some of that product is either going to come here as steel, or it's going to come here as our products, and we won't need the steel here anymore because we won't be making the products. So we all have a responsibility to work together to drive cost. So, is contracting out really cost effective? In Dearborn, in some areas it is, and in some areas it's not. We work closely with the union to figure that out, because we all agree we got to be cost competitive in Dearborn. Do we need more overtime and less people, or do we need more people and less overtime? The sensitive one here is, does a 20,000 ton a month cold mill really make sense? So I want you to just hear these numbers. Your conversion cost of cold roll from hot band to the product you sell to customers is $150, $160 a ton fully accounted. At Sparrows Point, it's $75. At Severstal and in Dearborn, it'll be less than $70. The price spread, Dave can confirm this, the price spread from band to cold roll is about 90. So what it says is on every ton of cold roll you make, you're intentionally losing $60 a ton. And I say intentionally because you should be selling at a top roll. So these are the kind of questions, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens more of these questions that we've got to figure out across the company at every location and corporately to say, what's the right plan to make the right product mix to be a low-cost producer? You're implementing your version of lean. Same thing is being done in Dearborn. Lean really is the Toyota way. So it's never-ending continuous improvement by evaluating every area of the business that ultimately can reduce forms of waste. And implicit in this is safety, implicit in this is quality, it's volume, it's labor efficiency, it's what we buy, it's material utilization. So we're going to encourage you to continue doing what you're doing, and from a corporate perspective, we can help in any way, we're going to do that. And I say from a corporate perspective because we have within, such a big corporation, we have experts in many areas whose job it is just to work with the local, the local business units on improvement opportunity. We have a methodology and we have a process that we use within the company, and some of the key areas are lean, and another key area is benchmarking, and it's not just benchmarking against yourself in the prior year, it's benchmarking within the company across all the divisions, it's benchmarking the best in the world. Why? Because you can learn from yourself, you can learn from your competitors what they are doing, and you can leapfrog your own ideas of how to get to a better place. We will bring a process here called TOP, Total Operations Performance. TOP is really about how do you get everybody in this room, doesn't matter what your job is, contributing as many ideas as possible as to how to do things better. And when you take the shop floor level, in Dearborn, on the shop floor level, over the last 3.5 years, we've implemented about 280 ideas. We've been given